evening. I'm very pleased to be with you, the class of 2024, on this your day. I clearly would prefer to do this in person in Ruby Diamond, but this is what we have right now. I heartily congratulate you on the completion of your first 2 blocks of our medical school. You are clearly a unique class with a unique experience to date. Normally, we would celebrate this day at the end of the summer semester upon completion of anatomy and doctoring, better known as Foundations of Medicine 1. But because of COVID, you started with Foundations of Medicine 2, all online. We greatly appreciate your flexibility and your faculty's incredible response to make this happen for you. First, I'd like to recognize the generosity of the FSU Chapman Chapter of the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Because of them, you'll be able to look sharp as of tonight with bright new white coats. It was over 20 weeks ago, or 5 months, that you arrived here on the College of Medicine on the 26th of May to begin a new chapter in your life. Whether or not you'll admit it, you were very apprehensive. You weren't sure you were up to the challenge or had what it took to succeed here. You certainly wondered how you would experience all the great things you heard and saw on your interviews about the community here when the first block was all online. Well, you did well in your first online semester, and you were excited to finally see your classmates in person as you started back face-to-face on the 10th of August. Now that you've completed the first 2 blocks of medical school, things look a lot different, don't they? Yes, it was hard, but you've discovered that you really do belong in medical school, and you do have what it takes to succeed. You've worked hard to stay safe and healthy during this difficult time, and now you're taking on the role of the professional. If I could look out and see all of you, I'm sure I would see that you are looking so much more self-assured and mature than when you first arrived. Maybe even a little less nervous. Thank you for your patience, your resilience, and your dedication to your studies this semester. We are very, very proud of you. We're also honored to have with us a truly special group of fourth-year students who were recently elected to the FSU Chapman Chapter of the Gold Humanism Honor Society by their peers and by their faculty. It is a great honor for them, and you'll hear more about this special honor society as we formally induct them tonight. We do this very intentionally at your white coat ceremony to both honor them and demonstrate to you, our freshman class, that becoming doctors is not just about book knowledge, but also about the professional behaviors, attitudes, and attributes that are embodied in these students that you see here tonight. We frequently think of these honorees as future doctor's doctor, the highest praise you can imagine to be asked by a colleague to be their personal physician. White coat ceremonies are one of my favorite events of the year and a joyous one for deans at every medical school. Why? Not only because we are proud of you at this momentous event, as you are welcomed into the profession of medicine, but because of the large number of family members, friends, and loved ones who typically join us to celebrate this transition in your professional lives. This event, like everything else since you arrived, is the new normal, done virtually and without an audience in attendance. I thank all the family members and loved ones watching tonight for entrusting your future physician to us on this remarkable adventure, and for taking time from your busy schedules to participate in this milestone for them. I know they are very glad you're here. I hope that in your conversations with your loved ones that you've already witnessed a bit of a transformation these past 5 months. When you see them in a white coat, they will probably stand a little straighter and look a little bit more professional in your eyes. You may even be tempted to ask them their medical opinion on various family maladies. Just don't expect too much, and please don't push it. Now, I'd like to speak to the class of 2024. As hopefully you know by now, one of the things I treasure about this medical school is a sense of community that's so much a part of who we are. Your faculty and I have been concerned about ensuring this culture during these extraordinary times. It wasn't until recently that I've been able to make rounds in your LCs. I certainly enjoyed seeing your smiling faces in the anatomy lab last month. Being together was very important. I usually enjoy hearing your wonderful comments and positive sentiments from my visits, and I know you've appreciated the support you've gotten from Student Affairs, Student Counseling Center, from your fellow mentors, from your fellow faculty mentors, from your fellow students, and your big sisters and brothers in the class of 2023. In spite of the pandemic, you had wonderful supportive faculty who really care about your progress and your concerns. They were accessible, available, and always ready to help when asked. You've received great support from all the talented staff who are here to help you succeed. They've worked hard to make you feel like family, and you appreciate the general caring atmosphere you found here. You've had counselors and advisors to help you maintain wellness during this hectic time. Your second-year TAs provided advice, guidance, and mentorship to help you in your transition. I know they are very proud of your success, and we're honored to be part of this initial experience. You also had a very different initial experience in the CLC, and flipping the curriculum to avoid face-to-face learning brought a special challenge. Our faculty and standardized patients were up to this challenge and walked you through learning the medical history remotely with an emphasis on professionalism, structured debrief sessions, and advice about deliberative practice. You also had a formal process of student self-assessment with faculty participation, watching your performance videos together. You've enjoyed the early exposure to our standardized patients, again by Zoom, and we've used this time to have Focus SP training to serve as your performance evaluators. All this work paid off in July. You completed your OSCE, and over 90% of you scored above 90% on that test. You've learned so much more than your peers who haven't even started school yet by that time. When we started with face-to-face teaching in the CLC, it was a great opportunity to teach infection control and physical distancing. You learned by example how to do this as we dedicated space with adequate physical distancing and seating capacity to ensure a safe and productive learning environment. For your parents and loved ones, here's some data about your class. We selected you from an applicant pool of over 7,100 applicants and only had to make 149 offers to get you here. We continue to be one of the most selective medical schools in the country. Your class is majority female with 68 women and 52 men. 115 of 120 students are from the state of Florida and 44 are FSU grads. We have students from a broad array of undergraduate institutions, the largest number ever for us. Once again, we are proud of the diversity of this class, with 26 Hispanic and 12 African American new students. In keeping with our mission and geographic focus, 27 of you come from the Florida Panhandle counties, 10 of you come from areas designated as rural, and 23% define themselves as being disadvantaged. Members of the class of 2024, after you went through the summer and fall, you've finally come together and you've bonded. Now you feel like the class of 2024. Tonight's ceremony is all about acknowledging the significant transition in your professional life as you get ready to care for patients in future training. The white coat along with the stethoscope is one of the most recognizable symbols of medicine. While you should wear it with great pride, you must recognize its symbol comes great responsibility. This ceremony also serves as a reminder you're not just going to school, you are joining a profession. Ceremonies provide opportunities to commit or recommit to the oaths, vows, and traditions of our profession. As you take the first real steps on your journey to become exemplary physicians, compassionate healers, focused on your patients, and committed to serve your future communities, I speak for everyone here when I say again, congratulations. Now, let's find out more about those Gold Humanism Honor Society inductees I told you about from Dr. Harrison.
Good evening, everyone. I offer my heartfelt welcome to the family and friends of our medical students, and especially to the students in the class of 2024 who have now completed their first semester of medical school. Congratulations. I have the honor and privilege of serving with Dr. Daniel Van Dermy as the faculty advisor for the FSU Chapman Chapter of the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Our chapter was formed in 2007 as a tangible step towards the promotion of human in the profession of medicine. The Arnold P. Gold Foundation, which helped establish white coat ceremonies in nearly all of the medical schools in the United States, has led the way in a variety of efforts to recognize and further the cause of humanism throughout medicine. Most medical schools in the country have now adopted the concept of teaching patient-centered care, care that is truly focused on serving the unique needs of each person. Humanism takes it even further, including attributes such as compassion, service, integrity, and respect. The inspiration for a Humanism Honor Society came from discussions that occurred among medical educators and residency program directors who were all looking for a way to identify medical students who truly excel in both clinical and interpersonal skills. Humanistic medical care is based on building caring, trusting, and collaborative relationships with patients that will improve their health outcomes. Here at FSU College of Medicine, we are proud to have many students with these attributes, but the selection is limited to no more than 10 to 15% of the class. There were several students in the class of 2021 who stood out amongst their peers, with each receiving multiple nominations from faculty, staff, and classmates. Categories that were assessed include providing care with compassion and kindness, service to the community, and clinical excellence. These are the students who are recognized as the person the nominator would want to care for their own loved ones. Tonight, we welcome 16 students into this National Honor Society. And we hope that by combining these ceremonies, we will encourage our first-year medical students to strive for humanism in their interactions with both patients and colleagues. The students being honored tonight will each receive a certificate and a GHHS pin to be distributed at a later time. The pin is worn on the white coat to signify membership in the Honor Society and to demonstrate their personal commitment to humanism in medicine. Together with Dr. Daniel Van Dermee, I welcome the following students into the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Laxmi Castillo, Edward Cordy, Elizabeth Hull Dennison, Jerry Samantha Eichelberger, Sierra Grayson, Shelby Hartwell, Juliana Goodwin Caceres, Evelyn Kassim, Richmond Larea, Kiara Marquez, Jasmika Colvin McCord, Shani Peter, Jason Rivera, Bernie Shore, Michaela Smith. One of our traditions is for new members to read the oath aloud along with current members. We invite all faculty members of the Gold Humanism Honor Society who are watching this video to recite the oath along with our newest members.
I pledge by all that I hold dear as a physician. I will care for my patients with compassion, respect, empathy, integrity, medical excellence. I will listen to my patients with my whole being. I will advocate for each patient as a unique individual. I will serve as a role model and mentor to promote humanism in healthcare. I will remember always the healing power of acts of caring. I will dedicate myself to joining with others to make healthcare optimal for all.
Our next speaker is Jason Rivera, a fourth-year medical student and new Gold Humanism Honor Society member from the Daytona Regional Campus. He was chosen by GHHS peers and faculty members to provide some student perspectives on the journey of humanism that lies ahead for our class of 2024. Welcome, Jason.
Hello, everybody, and congratulations to the class of 2024 on receiving your white coat. Today is a very special day for you all, and I hope you take the time to celebrate this milestone in your education. My name is Jason Rivera, and I'm incredibly honored and grateful to speak on behalf of this year's Gold Humanism Honor Society student inductees. I would like to take a moment to congratulate my fellow classmates on being awarded such a high honor. These individuals serve as role models of the human connection in healthcare and regard every patient with the utmost respect. I am so excited to see what the future of medicine will look like with such kindness, compassion, and integrity being displayed. Let's face it, medical school is pretty difficult. As students, you have embarked on a journey towards a noble profession that requires a tremendous amount of dedication. You are always challenged to perform at your best. You spend countless early mornings and late nights studying the infinite amount of material there is to know. However, aside from all the technical requirements to become a physician, it is imperative that you do not lose sight of what initially drew you to this field. I am confident that all of you chose to pursue a career in medicine to serve others to the best of your ability. This is a very selfish profession that incorporates social, economic, psychological, and physical components in an ongoing effort to improve lives. This nurturing and empathetic side of being a physician is better known as humanism in medicine and serves as the backbone for this field of work. I think we can all agree that this year has been a true testament to humanism in medicine. We have had to quickly adapt to a pandemic that has taken over 1 million lives worldwide, including over 215,000 lives in this country alone. We are seeing existing health disparities being exploited further. Millions of people are losing their jobs and have no alternative financial support to rely on in their time of need. Homelessness, food insecurity, and a lack of health insurance have continued to wither our ailing society. This year has been especially difficult for Black, Indigenous, and people of color who continue to suffer at the hands of systemic and institutionalized racism. Let's be very clear. Racism is a public health crisis, and its deleterious effects have permeated every facet of our society. There are countless lived adverse experiences from far too many people of color in this country. We continue to see the unjustified killings of innocent men and women of color without due justice served. I would like to specifically mention Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, whose names serve as painful reminders that our country does not treat everyone the same. It's obvious to see how this discrimination results in poor health outcomes, inequitable access to healthcare, and a general mistrust of the healthcare system altogether. Despite all of this disorder, I tend to be optimistic because this is where I believe you all come in. No, I am not asking you to fix every problem, but I have faith that noble leaders like yourselves will enter your professional careers motivated to do what is right. We know that the health of our patients and collectively the health of our society is our number one priority. And as long as we allow this to guide our practices, we cannot go wrong. Our jobs are more than what we write on the prescription pad. Our jobs extend far beyond the clinical setting. We have the power and the moral obligation to fight for our patients and our communities. I ask that you emphasize the humanistic aspect of medicine as you continue your training. Keep working hard and allow your love for humanity to fuel your passions. I would like to congratulate you all once again for receiving your white coats, and I look forward to seeing all of the great things you all will accomplish in your careers. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason Rivera, for coming tonight and telling us all the things that you've learned about being a medical student here and sharing this as a member of the Gold Humanism Honor Society with us tonight. A wonderful tradition we started several years ago at the College of Medicine is to invite alumni to come back and speak to the first-year class during the white coat ceremony. We're blessed with wonderful alumni who have taken our mission out into the communities they serve, and they have the kind of insight from their experience as an FSU medical student and now practicing physicians that we think is important for our first-year students to hear. That's particularly true for this year's speaker. When Dr. Joan Meek, Dean of the Orlando Regional Campus, reached out to alumni to see if they had anything to share with their students about what they were seeing after this pandemic had become a reality, she got a quick response from Dr. Jonathan Salud, a hospitalist at the University of Washington Medical Center in Seattle, one of the early COVID hotspots. This was part of his response to the students at our Orlando campus, where Dr. Salud did his clinical rotations before graduating in 2015. Quote, "The clinical trajectory of these patients is unnervingly variable, though my colleagues and I remain on highest alert as stable patients approach day 8 to 12 of their symptoms, a window where respiratory failure can certainly emerge. Aside from scrambling to stay current with evidence on treatments like hydroxychloroquine and remdesivir, much of our day is troubleshooting ways to communicate with our patients. Coming from FSU COM, where patient-centeredness carries a high premium, it's very difficult to care for patients like you usually would. With a rumbling HEPA filter and layers of PPE, the 6 feet between me and my hearing-impaired geriatric patient can feel like miles, and I think that remains the toughest part for me. We're existing in uncharted territory that grows more complex in the most unpredictable ways. We're showing up, we're crying, we're laughing, we're thinking twice about going home to our families at night. This will be one of the toughest chapters of our profession. It will test our honor, grace, and compassion. And despite the fear and anxiety I wrestle with every day, I can't be prouder to be a doctor and an FSU COM alumnus right now. Fortunately, Dr. Salud didn't have to travel far to be with us tonight, only to his laptop to record his talk for us to share with you now.
Hello, FSU COM, class of 2024 from sunny Seattle, Washington. I want to start by sharing my sincerest congratulations to you all, and also to my now esteemed peers from the class of 2021 who are being inducted into the Gold Humanism Honor Society today. I am humbled that I get to share this moment with all of you in celebration of such important achievements. Getting the chance to spend time with y'all today has given me an excuse to selfishly saunter down memory lane a bit. The breadth of emotions I felt at my white coat ceremony, ones I'm sure you're also feeling, still make the hairs on my neck stand up. And the same goes for the first day of intern year, which I know is fast approaching for those of you graduating next summer. A bit of nerves, excitement, curiosity, and maybe somewhere in there a quiet, small sense of accomplishment, buffered, of course, by the realization that, yeah, this is only the beginning. Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure I felt those same feelings again on my first day as an attending, and probably even a Tuesday sometime last month. The point being that in answering this calling, you can expect to navigate those feelings on a regular, almost day-to-day basis. In music, it's called variations on a theme, a different or unique way of doing, saying, or presenting something that has been done in the past, or more plainly, a déjà vu of sorts. Before COVID-19 took hold of our hearts, bodies, and minds, we had to contend with the typical everyday challenges that haven't gone away but now seem to pale in comparison, like wrestling with our still far from perfect electronic medical records, for example. With the advancements in technology, testing, and treatments that have come along over the years, we're taking care of sicker and often older patients across all specialties. And just in the past few months, barreling in parallel with COVID, the urgency to address our racial and economic inequities that have smoldered for years, particularly in the delivery of health care, has since reached a fever pitch. But now, this gigantic elephant in the room that we know as COVID-19 has tragically continued to affect the lives of millions worldwide, has killed 1 million people to date, all while it has stubbornly flipped our profession on its head. To some extent, it already feels like ages ago to me, but as COVID took hold in Washington and in the U.S. as a whole, the day-to-day moved at light speed. After more cases in Seattle were identified in February, my hospitalist group jumped into action and started holding ad hoc meetings, which quickly grew to twice a week to discuss our preparedness and action plan. Overnight, my clinic was canceled, and I found myself reassigned to a night shift dedicated specifically to our newly established COVID-only team. This nighttime coverage, in fact, was born out of the very real, living nightmare we feared of hearing a rapid response called overhead in the middle of the night as you were swaddled head to toe in PPE without any kind of backup. Every day after that, especially during that first month or so, was an uncertainty in caring for these patients with COVID. Bracing yourself as patients crept toward that dreaded 8 to 12 day window after symptom onset, where the risks of decompensation loomed large. Troubleshooting a way to interview a patient who was delirious, spoke no English, and was wearing a venti mask for oxygen, while you too were buried deep in a PAPR hood. Compulsively monitoring EKGs once hydroxychloroquine was started. Spending hours talking with the families of each and every patient by phone to earnestly explain the unknowns about this disease, followed, of course, by heavy goals of care discussions. And then showering and changing clothes twice before getting home to put your baby to bed. As the year has gone on, experience has afforded a bit more certainty, and glimmers of hope continue to show themselves along the way, which to me reinforce the core values of our profession, and specifically that of Gold Humanism, with its IE CARES acronym. Surgeons and anesthesiologists at our hospital volunteered to help our hospital group, humbly ready at the drop of a hat to leave the OR and take on roles similar to that of a third-year medical student. Collaboration with our nurses, social workers, physical therapists, all led to more safe, decisive, and efficient care delivery, and increasingly more often, patients discharging home in stable condition. Make no mistake about it, we're not out of the woods, and the worst may still have yet to come. But I share this with you because in my own self-reflection, I want to acknowledge my fear so that you can acknowledge yours. That first night on the COVID service, I wanted to turn tail and run for the hills. I even fleetingly considered hanging up my white coat for good. And I recognize that that's okay. It's okay to feel scared, to feel insecure, and to sometimes feel directionless now and in the future. It's okay to realize where we as doctors can fall short. But in acknowledging our fear, realize that our fear is not mandated to stand in the way of our courage and commitment to action. More often, it's those around us, patients, staff, family, who recognize the white coat as something special. And on the other hand, over time, it is us who take it for granted. To be clear, though, this white coat, it doesn't define us. It doesn't make us stronger, faster, smarter, or impervious to pain. But it does mean something. It's a symbol of both what we've accomplished and sacrificed to get here, and of the excellence we strive for with our patients' lives in our hands. It's a symbol of companionship with your colleagues, the elation y'all felt after finishing your last exam this summer, and the tears you will most certainly share together when the unfortunate happens and one of your patients dies. And it's a symbol to remind yourself that it's going to be okay, so that you can charge back into the front lines and make a difference in whatever capacity. Take a mental snapshot of this moment. Look closely at the details in the embroidery on your crisp new white coats, which at its core symbolizes your entrance into this profession when you put it on for the first time today. You being here in this moment and with that white coat symbolizes your privilege to dream. So dream to give peace of mind and strength when your patient is at their wit's end with fear and suffering. Dream to demand something better from ourselves, rain or shine, pandemic or no pandemic. To fight for equity. To use your voice in ways, however small or large, for the betterment of our collective good. Or more simply, to do what's right. I'll leave you with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from what is now colloquially referred to as his "but if not" speech. And I apologize in advance. I don't have the rhetorical prowess of Dr. King, but I felt it's so important to share this with you. Here we go. So if you're doing right merely to keep from going to something that traditional theology has called hell, then you aren't doing right. If you do right merely to go to a condition that theologians have called heaven, you aren't doing right. If you are doing right to avoid pain and to achieve happiness and pleasure, then you aren't doing right. Ultimately, you must do right because it's right to do right. And you gotta say, but if not. You must love ultimately because it's lovely to love. You must be just because it's right to be just. You must be honest because it's right to be honest. Thank you for letting me be a part of your special day. Congratulations, and best of luck to all of y'all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Salud, for being here tonight. We're so proud of you. And now at last, it's time to give out the white coats. Please welcome Dr. Alma Littles, Senior Associate Dean for Medical Affairs and Academic Affairs, and Dr. Robert Campbell, Associate Dean for Student Affairs. Dr. Littles will introduce our FSU College of Medicine faculty members. Dr. Campbell will introduce the class of 2024.
Good evening, and welcome to all of our family members and guests. It is my honor to introduce the faculty members who will help our first-year students don their new white coats. Dr. Christy Alexander, Dr. John Alphabaum, Dr. Ava Biankowitz, Dr. Jodrika Brown-Spates, Dr. Jim Kavanaugh, Dr. Jay Fogarty, Dr. Elizabeth Foster, Dr. Lisa Granville, Dr. Eric Laywell, Dr. Jerry Maitland, Dr. Thomas Morgan, Dr. Sandeep Rahandale, Dr. George Rust, Dr. Casey Rust, Dr. Anthony Spates, Dr. Naharika Suchak, Dr. Daniel Van Derme, Dr. Bob Watson, and Dr. James Zedeker.
I'd like to congratulate the class of 2024, and now we will code our students. Mikhail Ahmed, Yasmin Ali, Cheyenne Andrew, Benjamin Beers, Isabella Birmingham, Paul Borgman, Morgan Bradley, Anne Brown, Rachel Carr, Gabriel Sinadella, Mark Chartier, Sheena Chege, Jason Connor, Ketty Consuegra, Laura Cortez, Jessica Costero, Zachary Cox, Bailey Creighton, Christian Cunningham, Rita Dargy, Christopher Davidson, Brent DeShane, Annalise Diorio, Carly Doyen, Corsana Duty, Carmen Echevarria, Salma El Sheikh, Alyssa Furlan, Jessica Flickinger. Emily Gansert. Nora Gillen. Roy Golan. Timothy Guerrero. Tamisha Guzman. Anna Hairgrove. Matthew Harris. Brooke Hartenstein. Amelia Hartgee. Sarah Hicks. Brianna Hip. Taha Humissa. Michael Hong. Stephanie Shong. Abigail Hudeman. Dana Jaluk. Jared Jones. Megan Kane. Jordan King. Kari King. Spencer Kortum. Peyton Kotlars. Tamaya Kovac. Jeremy Cooter. Jessica Langer. Hannah Latif. Christopher Laurent. Colleen Liu. Franziska Leutsch. Andrew Linares. Brittany Long. Charles Magitas. Joanne McCarr. Gabrielle McKenzie. Julian Melcher. Caroline Minton. Adriana McCoffer. Pearl Meyerson. Madeline Michler. Brittany Miller. Anna Morega. Sophia Murad. Decorian North. Carissa Obing Nyako. Nicole Ormond. Janate Oscardes. Malika Parchment. Joseph Parker. Anil Patel. Hunter Patterson. Genevieve Patrick. Ryan Perez. Barbara Pierre Lewis. Taylor Posey. Lauren Raffanen. Eduardo Reyes Bruno. Sarah Rips. Cindy Rodriguez. Alex Rotsine. Annabelle Rosenthal. Carly Rushlow. Kayla Reichel. Neha Saini. Christina Sanchez. Jocelyn Shipper. Kayla Schusterman. Mandy Shazadi. Adam Shipley. Samantha Singer. Samantha Snow. Taylor Spoletic. Abigail Stewart. Rachel Strauss. Caitlin Sullivan. Grace Super. Michael Sussman. Burtis Taylor. Nicholas Thomas. Gemma Thompson. Angelica Tokika. Adrian Torres. Jordan Urrutia. Joe Udapan. Sahil Verma. John Wing. Matthew Williamson. Jody Wilson. Carrie Wortherly. Hongyu Zhang.
Congratulations, class of 2024. If I could see you now, I'm sure you must look so doctorly. Now I invite Eduardo Machado, president of the Medical Student Council, to lead the class of 2024 in the student oath.
Thank you, Dean Fogarty. To the class of 2024 and all the friends, family, and loved ones that are here today, congratulations. My name is Eduardo Machado, and it is my honor to lead you in the student oath. I want you to take a moment to reflect on the significance of this milestone. You are the very first class of medical students in history to begin medical school online. I want you to let that sink in. We have over 1 million medical doctors in the United States right now, but you will forever be one of the few who can say they were a part of this historical moment. You deserve this moment. You encountered many challenges associated with starting medical school during a pandemic, but you embraced those challenges with open arms and persevered through your first 2 semesters of medical school. You've begun your journey on what promises to be some of the most difficult yet rewarding years of your life. The white coat you receive today will be one of many you wear during your professional career, but they will all have one thing in common. Each will symbolize the virtue of your medical calling and the recognition that it is a privilege for us to care for our patients and not a privilege for our patients to be cared for by us. Whenever you don your white coat, feel its weight. Recall your oath, and most of all, remember that with the great power of the white coat comes great responsibility. And with that, will the class of 2024 please repeat after me? Now entering the study of medicine. I pledge to dedicate my life to the service of humanity.
I pledge to dedicate my life to the service of humanity.
I will study and practice with dignity.
I will study and practice with dignity.
And will maintain the honor of the medical profession.
And will maintain the honor of the medical profession.
I will treat all that I encounter equally.
I will treat all
that I encounter equally,
regardless of race, religion, or social standing.
regardless of race, religion, or social standing.
I will not use my knowledge contrary to the laws of humanity.
I will not
use my knowledge contrary to the laws of humanity.
These promises I make freely and upon my honor.
These promises I make on my honor.
Thank you to Dr. Johnny Salud, our keynote speaker, for joining us from his home in Seattle and sharing his experience as a proud alum. To our faculty who wanted to be here in person but volunteered to coach students in advance, and to our video production and IT folks for making this event possible and special for our students and families. We were pleased to see our fourth-year GHHS honorees and look forward to formally pinning them next year before graduation. Thank you to our second-year teaching assistants, our SPs, and our faculty who worked so hard to make this semester a memorable and productive one for the class of 2024. We thank our family members and friends who joined us remotely to celebrate this milestone and entrusted their loved ones to us this summer. We wish we could have done this in person to see the College of Medicine and experience a bit of what the students did this summer. Thank you for your patience and your efforts to stay safe and learn during these extraordinary times. We all hope and pray for better news to return to the calm soon and be the school that we all hope to be. Class of 2024, one semester down and only 8 semesters to go. Congratulations. Good night, everyone.